Hi everybody! So today my presentation for the final is going to be focused on food sustainability, specifically organic farming, and we're going to dive into the benefits of it and how we can make it accessible to many different types of people. So the worldwide population is growing, which means that there is going to be a demand for more food, specifically higher quality food. So what does this look like? This means that all of its citizens of a nation or a country should have adequate nutrition and also to make sure that their basic needs are met, especially financially. And this doesn't just apply to those who can afford it and who are accessible to it, like elites. This is going to hopefully target impoverished nations and make it accessible to everybody. And what this is going to look like is having access to these natural resources, having a rampant and also quality production of these manufactured goods, humane animal treatment, and then also being able to support farmers financially and also their health so that they're not exposed to these harmful chemicals that are sprayed in our food. And in order to fully achieve food sustainability, we're going to have farmlands that are going to be created from forests. So all of these forests will be knocked down, which is going to destroy habitats and not be beneficial for our ecosystems. An increased pace on the agriculture industry. Habitats will be destroyed, like I said, more greenhouse gases because of this rampant production, and then an increased water for all of these crops because these forests are being converted to more farmlands. And do we really have the space for this is the question that is being asked. And since we are having a decline in our food, our health is also deteriorating due to malnutrition because food is not accessible for everybody. The worldwide hunger is happening. And then pesticides are contaminating our food and also our water. Obesity is a problem in America today. And then we sometimes have an overconsumption of food. America is based on the fact of we need more. We go to our grocery stores and Walmart and Costco, you buy things in bulk. And do we really need that? And that is what living in Italy has ultimately taught us. We have smaller stores, and one of the Italian ways is just using what you need and not letting everything go to waste. So the downfall to the inorganic farming is that all of these chemicals that are sprayed on our food leach into the soil, and then this is the result of the plants because the soil becomes unhealthy because obviously it's supposed to kill bugs, but it also kills the soil that these plants are trying to thrive in. So this is going to reflect in our produce, like tip burn, browning, twisted leaves, stunted growth, and ultimately can be plant death. And then healthy soil, if we achieve it by not using these pesticides, which organic farming is what we look at how to create ways of naturally getting rid of these pests. And so once we have healthy soil, we'll have healthy crops, which then leads to healthy people, and we can get rid of this problem of adding all of these unnecessary things into our foods. So we know that today many companies and industries are just out for a money grab. They want to reach a larger audience and get products out on the shelves as fast as they can. And this can mean that we are going to neglect human health just because they want to increase this production. And so doing this, it's going to waste water, destroy the soil so that it can't even be harvested. Like I said, unhealthy soil leads to unhealthy plants, which leads to unhealthy consumers. Um, but if we're going to incorporate organic farming, we can save these farmers' health because they don't have to be around all these harmful chemicals, because if they're destroying our soil, how can they be good for human health? They have been shown in studies that they can lead to even cancer. So this is going to prevent them from ingesting it, and now they don't have to purchase these large products and machines that spray all of these fields. And since this is now getting to be a more popular practice, other farmlands are joining in, non-governmental organizations, and health issues is what's creating these people to say, maybe I should start incorporating this into my farmlands. And so now they can depend less on these chemicals because other farms are starting to see a successful business. So our whole goal here is if we want to achieve food sustainability and reach the more vulnerable populations like children, the elderly, especially the sick and malnourished, why are we going to add all of these harmful chemicals and hormones into our food when we want to assist the human population, not destroy it? We're going to, if we don't incorporate these organic practices, our foods won't be as nutrient dense and we're going to be lacking many minerals and vitamins that are essential for our health and well-being and for our body to function. So these added hormones ruin the quality of our food. Like we said, we're so brainwashed we don't even know what quality food is anymore, and it's going to create health problems like hormone disruptions. Children will be entering puberty faster, increased inflammation in the body, and even cancers. These antibiotics were originally used in the 40s to treat infections, but now they're being abused and just put into everything like dairy, eggs, and meat. And in some countries, they are banned, like GMOs, genetically modified ingredients. That are they really necessary, or are they just being added for taste and to make food become more addictive, so that once again these companies are just out for a money grab, so they will have an increased sales in their product. So this increased amount of these antibiotics can even lead to allergic reactions, damaged immune systems, especially like I said on these vulnerable populations. So now that I just talked about all the depressing negatives of inorganic farming, I'm going to tell you about the benefits of organic farming. They're going to prevent the use of these synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, all these added hormones, and their medications on their livestock, because these animals are being hooked up to these machines where they're going to be pumped with these hormones so that they have an increased production in their milk supply, like example for cows, or instead of grazing out on pastures how they're intended to be, eating grass, they're going to be fed soy so that they have an increased production, like I said. So their whole lives they're just stuck in these cages, being separated from their families. They're not eating their mother's milk. They're going to be fed these, like I said, synthetic foods and eating soy. And this is all just solely a business money grab so that there's an increased production, and then the business obviously will have a return on their investment. Feeding these animals on well-managed property will help put the carbon back into the soil and repeat the agricultural process if they are out in the wild and not stuck in cages, confined in unclean, unhealthy environments. Because then that is the food that we're eating. If these animals are unhealthy, what goes to say that our bodies will be healthy? These organic farmers rely on crop rotation, cover crops, hand weeding, and dense planting instead of these toxic herbicides. So this is their solution. This is going to increase biodiversity, reduce water pollution, and also, like I said, leads to a better tasting food. The quality is better and reduces our greenhouse gas emissions. The fertilizers that come from these animals are naturally based through the animal waste, plant-derived materials, and this is going to be similar to composting. We know the benefits of composting is just better for the environment, so that we are reusing all of our things and just giving it right back to the earth, so that it doesn't just benefit one person, it goes and it continues to build its profits. So these farmers are so dedicated to their lands, they make conscious efforts to stay on top of it. They want to focus on crop rotation, clean pest management, and so this is going to lead to more resilient farms that can withstand droughts and flooding. Since they're avoiding synthetic chemicals, they're going to produce plentiful food without depleting the natural resources that come in our food. So we are still reaping the benefits of our food. And this even goes to talk about fishing too. You're going to have more omega-3s, and what's the point of eating fish if your vitamins and minerals are taken out of your food? Then it depletes the whole purpose of needing your nutrients. So this is going to be shown in getting farm-raised fish as opposed to wild-caught. And so conventional inorganic farms use finite resources and chemicals, and this, once again, degrades the environment, which we're trying to prevent. So now that I talked about how there's only 3% of farmlands that are organic, but they're starting to grow in popularity because farmers are seeing that other farmlands are successful without relying on these chemicals. So I wanted to show an example. This one specifically happens in Ghana, which is an African country. So the Grown Initiative is going to encourage farmers to transition to these organic efforts, and then they're going to help them do that because they're going to see, they're going to reap their benefits. It's going to boost their local productions and also maintaining and helping environmental stability. The most popular thing that they grow, of course, fruits and vegetables, but also cassava, which is native to their land. It's a popular food item grown. This is going to support the smaller farmers, providing them with the training, tools, and access to the competitive organic markets, and also their buyers in the stores, like, for example, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Fresh Thyme. sprouts, and then they can focus on incorporating the organic pest controls. And then this is an example of a flyer that I found. So it's it's like an internship. So especially if you're going to be working in agriculture, it's going to show you about agroecology. And so here's some benefits. You'll get monthly stipends, organic opportunities for nominations, and then they can go to the US and practice this there too, not just in Africa, so they can bring what they learned here back to the United States, links to the organic markets. You will get free accommodations, and then gets all the contact info, program date, age requirements. And then example of another one, this one I found to be super interesting because it is a lady who's a professor. She started this just out of a passion for sustainable efforts, and she started this in her own backyard, planting 9 trees. She promotes sustainable agriculture, especially in rural communities. She wants to focus on planting trees alongside these crops to help with the biodiversity and cultivation of this agriculture. They're going to start using composting and mulching, and this will reduce environmental degradation. So when I was researching this, I found a video explaining this entire concept and this program that she started. So Africa, specifically Kenya, was experiencing droughts. They weren't having a very plentiful vegetation. So 1895 to 1963 is when the British came in and they replaced all of their subsistence farming with industrialization, and this was, destroying their forests, their habitats, and it was not good for their environment. So she came up with a way to link the environment with community needs. So she also had a passion and a heart for women empowerment. So she gathered all these people together in the community, the rural community, and today they have planted 51 million trees. 30,000 women are now incorporated. It's not just her, it's a whole group effort, and 4,000 communities have been helped, and they have been able to have food sustainability, incorporating organic farming, not just with trees, but also because I said these trees will grow alongside the plants. And because she was so successful and she had a heart for these people, she won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004. She was the first woman to do that from an African country and the first environmentalist, and also the first to earn a doctorate degree. This was all to award her for her sustainable development, peace, and democracy. And then some wise words of wisdom that she spoke says, "We are called to assist the earth to heal her wounds, and in the process we heal our own," because she thinks that giving back to community is her way of healing herself. She says trees are used as white flags in Kenya to settle disputes, so these act as a symbol of her for peace and to settle conflicts. And this all started, like I said, with 9 trees in her yard, and this is what it has grown into today, a whole community effort. And then lastly, these are all my sources. So thank you so much for listening, and I really hope you learned something. Bye.